Your point is really appreciated, Amitji, as to how to look at this from the perspective as to whether it is really possible to do away with the audit as NAFRA would have thought about it. Quickly, the arguments which NAFRA has given, one is low audit fees. That means what? That means if a doctor is charging small fees, that means he is not a good doctor. Now that is what it appears. Cost of compliance. So there are certain expenses in life that we have to incur. So if the cost of a higher education is very high, that means by this logic, parents should not send their children for higher education. Coming to the end of ease of doing business. Now remember, in the same, NAFRA is a body which is also responsible or connected with the accounting standards. Today, the whole world is going for international financial reporting standards, and we also in India have gone for the INDES. And the logic and the reason behind introduction of IFRS by the IASB and INDES by our own Indian Institute of Chartered Accountant. The logic is of ease of doing business. Now remember, on one hand, we are talking about introduction of global accounting standards so as to bring ease of business. And on the other hand, we are saying to do away with the audit, which means where is the ease of doing business? Today, we are in a global economy. There are so many global transactions are happening. Not only global transactions are happening, there are a lot of mergers and amalgamations and acquisitions and takeovers are happening. Now remember, if the accounts of a business are not audited, you can imagine what kind of time, efforts and money would need to be spent in doing the due diligence. As it is, when the accounts are audited from year to year, a lot of efforts and time and money goes in doing the due diligence. If the financials are not audited, then the kind of efforts that would go is going to be humongous. Just imagine if a bank has to give a loan and the financials are not audited of that business, how the business will gain the confidence as to this company is credit worthy and they can give the loan. Interestingly, when you talk about the cost of compliance being high, when the NAFRA says cost of compliance being very high, really speaking, this request should have come from the industry. Industry should have said, please do away with the audit because the cost of compliance is very high. And now, coming to the low audit fees, interestingly, NAFRA is talking in terms of the range of 1.5 lakhs to 8.43 lakh for a company of the size of 50 crore. Now you can imagine what kind of standardization are we talking about. 1.43 lakhs to 8.43 lakhs. That is the range we are talking about. Where is the standardization? Where this range is? And if at all you are concerned about, if at all you want to take the argument of the low audit fees, then bring out a standard that would ensure that the audit fees are correspondingly higher than what it is being done. And I would agree with Sudhakar ji when he says कि अगर मेरे सिर में दर्द है तो सिर को निकाल दो. Now that logic cannot work. So I was trying to think as to how can I really look at an answer that from this perspective, what the logic and the arguments which NAFRA has given can really be accepted. So I was looking from the perspective of can there be a company which does not have a public interest? It is absolutely impossible to find a company which has no public interest. Remember, a company may not have public shareholder. So even if a company does not have a public shareholder, it has employees, it has suppliers, it has customers, and if not anybody else, then it has government, and to the government it has to pay the taxes and the society and the environment. So it is just not possible to find a company where there is no public interest, and therefore the accountability has to be established. And that accountability to be established, there has to be a system of check and balances. and therefore howsoever hard I may have tried to come to an answer as to how this can really work, I'm really not able to come to any argument that would help me to tell you that yes, in this case it is possible to do away with the audit.